Hi, Clean Impact team. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short training video. These videos are super important to the success of our company. They're super important to understand our practices, policies, and procedure that we use here at Clean Impact. I know that they're kind of repetitive and redundant, but guess what? The more times you hear these things, the more it enters into your mind and the more it becomes a habit to where you don't have to think about it anymore, to where it's second nature. You do it over and over and over again. Our goal is to make sure that you're working smarter, not harder. If you follow the practices, policies, and procedures here, you're going to have plenty of time to accomplish all the tasks on your list. Speaking of tasks, make sure you're taking time every night to look at what tasks need to be performed tonight and which special tasks you're going to be performing tonight. Make sure you're stocking your cart properly. Make sure you have plenty of paper refills on there. Make sure you have plenty of chemicals on there, and make sure you have the right tools, especially if you're performing a special task tonight. It's very important that we operate efficiently. It's very important that we follow these practices and procedures so you don't have to do things over again. One of the biggest things that we always talk about is making sure you dry wipe everything before you wet wipe it. You're going to find out one time where you're going to miss wiping the dust off of a toilet or the sink before you put that spray on there, and you're going to spend 5 minutes trying to knock all these dust boogers off that thing. Trust me, I've done it 100 times and it is super inefficient. So I'm hoping that you'll learn that this is not the right way to do it, and hoping that through repetitive motions that this is not going to be a struggle that you struggle with as much as I had in the past. So one very important thing, always dry wipe before you wet wipe anything. The next thing is let's just make sure we're having fun while we're doing this thing. We're here performing a task. We're here performing a job. You might as well enjoy it while you're doing it. I like to make games out of everything. As you know, I'm a process and efficiency geek. I like to try to find the best way to accomplish anything. One of the things I've found with vacuuming is I like to try to create these big square patterns to where I'm not repeating, where I'm not overlapping my vacuum marks, to where I'm moving forward and making sure that I know where I've been and where I'm going. I like to make sure I'm moving my cord out as far in advance as I can so I can get the maximum distance out of when I'm vacuuming. So again, we're here performing a job. Make it fun, make it entertaining, keep yourself entertained. And what it does is it makes your night go by faster, it keeps your mind sharp, and it keeps you focused on the task at hand. So just take some time, have some fun with this. Another thing I want to talk about is before you do any wet application on the floor, if it's a grooved tile surface with grout lines and things like that, a dust mop just doesn't work. If you try to go through with a dust mop or anything like that, it pushes those little dust particles into that groove. And when you come back with a wet mop, it turns that into a slimy paste. And that's almost impossible to get off of there. So on grooved tile surfaces, it's very important that you use your vacuum to go through and suck up all the dirt, dust, and debris on the entire room before you apply any wet application. The same thing, or little differently on a smooth surface, on smooth tile floors or big open areas, a big dust mop, a dry dust mop to go back and forth and get all the particulates off the ground before you use a wet mop is very important. Again, grooved surfaces, use a vacuum. Suck everything up. Don't just push it around. Don't roll it into the grout lines or anything like that. Suck it up. Get it out of there. That way, your water stays clean, your grout lines stay clean, and it makes your life so much easier. Again, on smooth floors, a big dust mop, come back through, get all the dust and all the debris off the floor, and then come back through with your wet mop. Again, this makes it easier on you. In the long run, you're not saving any time by cutting corners. Again, in Clean Impact, there's only one shortcut, and that's to do it right the first time. If you don't have time to do it right the first time, when are you going to find time to come back and do it again? I appreciate you taking the time tonight to watch this short training video. Please apply these processes and practices into your night tonight. Make a game out of vacuuming, make a game out of efficiency, and make a game out of strategizing how you're best going to execute tonight. It is a big deal for us that you're here tonight. So I just want to say thank you very much for taking the initiative. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And thank you very much for applying some of the practices and procedures to make your life a little easier, to make your job a little more efficient, and to make Clean Impact stand out as the quality, premium cleaning service in Springfield. You are part of that. You are on a valuable team, and I appreciate your time. Have a great night. Be safe.